Sorry for getting on a little late today. I had my appointment pushed back this morning, so I did not get to go live at my usual 5:30 time slot. Just putting out my go live messages now. Anybody is welcome to drop in, let me know what's going on, pick a topic for discussion, etc. Alright. Just a moment. Anyone in the chat? Yes, I am conscious. Wait just a moment, I'll be back to OBS so I can see the chat. Just posting on Blue Sky that I'm going live. Sorry about that. Alright. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Seeing as it's just me in here, I will go ahead and yap to some degree, but honestly, I'm sort of inclined to let people filter in as they will and engage with them as they do so. So, I suppose I will start with news today. We had our, unfortunately, white supremacist Secretary of Defense, who was involved in a group chat on Signal try and distract from that today by attempting to rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War, which the U.S. had at one point. Now, the original Department of War split into the Department of the Navy and the Department of the Army, I think, or possibly Air Force, post World War II. And so the actual Department of War uh, doesn't exist anymore as it did. The DoD was kind of the thing that got all of that put under it. But, I mean, clearly an attempt to deflect from the fact that A, we're using Signal in blatant defiance of the Presidential Records Act. B, uh, was involved in a group chat talking about bombing an apartment complex to get one guy, wherein multiple members of the administration responded with fucking emojis, of all things, which feels like it should be a punishable crime all by itself, but, maybe we get there in the future. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea. I will say I do not know for sure how long I'm going to be on tonight. I will do my best to keep the energy up, but would you believe half a gram of ketamine is a lot? And so my body is breaking that shit down at the moment. For the moment, I'm just going to be here for people to hop in and chat with me. I'm more than happy to have discussions, do whatever. But uh, I'm hoping, see people see the title and are curious enough to hop in at the very least. Quick, rundown on how long I've been doing this. I got injured 8.5 years ago, and uh, significant nerve damage to my left ankle. Um, Wound up getting diagnosed with CRPS, which is complex regional pain syndrome. They tried a lot of different things, and the only one that has worked so far is ketamine. Uh, for reducing pain over time and, making me better and basically functional day to day. So that is what I've been doing, and I definitely am not entirely sober at the moment. But I do feel, well enough to stream, and I do apologize again for showing up a bit late to stream today. Just had an appointment that got pushed back. So I definitely am sitting here willing to yap about various things. Let's see. I read a number of things while extremely stoned around noon today. And no real idea what the trouble is I don't remember all of them because given the dose of ketamine that I'm on, uh I am definitely Jesus, Trump trying to remove the Department of Education illegally again. Uh, Politico Europe, NATO to Putin, attack Poland, and our response will be, quote, devastating. Do we really need World War III? That seems superfluous. I don't know. Maybe it's just that I've played enough Fallout games to know that that shit's bad. Um, but maybe we don't start dropping nukes. That would be ideal. Okay, this is an article from the subreddit Not the Onion. Monster under bed in Kansas town turned out to be real. Okay, so was it a guy or was it an animal? Because there are different things. A man. Yeah, no, yeah, that's kind of how I figured that would go out. The call is coming from inside the house. Someone who used to live in the house but barred from being there due to a protection from abuse order. Yeah, that tracks. Let's see. I saved a few things while I was fairly out of it this morning, but I'm not certain what all of those were because ketamine fucks with your memory a little bit and also your liver, but that's mostly still working, so I think we're good on that. Oh yeah, Big Balls of Doge is apparently a former cybercrime enthusiast. It's shocking to nobody who's paying attention, I suppose. Uh, oh yeah, I talked about the ecosystem that they found under the Antarctic ice shelf on the last stream, but I definitely would be interested to oh, sorry. God, I am not really sure what I'm gonna kind of focus on tonight. Honestly, focus is maybe out of the question, but we shall see. I'll be curious to see if saying that I'm having a ketamine stream in my title will entice people or turn them off. I don't know. People do, in my experience, find that sort of amusing, but also I understand that people aren't up for dealing with that. Uh, I certainly like my brain a bit better when it is not stunted by drugs, but I'm also willing to have a conversation and interested in having a conversation while it still is.
To be perfectly honest, I think Friday may be the better ketamine stream, if only because hopefully I'll be back home in time to do that from my real setup, because currently I'm operating on a laptop from my parents' house. So I do not have quite as much going on in that department. My mic quality is certainly lower here because I'm using just plugged-in speakers with a microphone attached, as opposed to the very nice speaker I have on a arm at home. But that said, I am still here, still happy to talk. Doesn't seem my going live messages have pulled anyone in, so for the moment I'm just yapping to myself, which I'm happy to do. It'd be nice to have someone join me in Discord. It's nice to have someone to kind of bounce back and forth off of, especially in sort of a just chatting scenario. But anybody is welcome to join me in the chat, in the Discord, whatever. But I'm still coming down a bit, but more than happy to have a conversation about whatever anybody would like to. Pick a topic, any topic. I am personally have been reading the news, which, besides, doom spiraling a little bit about, I'm mostly fine with. Could discuss news, could discuss politics, could discuss gaming, could discuss science, could discuss pretty much whatever. If you wanted to discuss math, to be perfectly honest, I'm not gonna do much for you. I'm real good at math up until about 8th grade, and that is where I fall off. Algebra is not my thing. Um, but other than that, what's the best thing about ketamine? Hi mom. So I personally do not trip. It's not a party drug for me. I sleep. That said, the sleep is nice, for sure. But, I have, I don't have any of the standard responses to ketamine that a lot of people have, where they'll go into a K-hole or where they'll, see things or experience significant auditory or sensory hallucinations, uh, certainly visual hallucinations. I personally find that I am most able to understand the visual hallucinations. The only thing that ketamine does for me visually is it disconnects my binocular vision. So I effectively go from seeing everything normally to seeing two of everything because both of my eyes are sending signals to my brain, and something about the ketamine prevents my brain from determining that they're looking at the same thing. So I see multiple of it rather than just the one. Um, Not that that's exclusive to ketamine. I know a number of people who, drink significant amounts of alcohol report similar effects, like multiple of a thing. Presumably, the brain is, using some power on keeping binocular vision operating at basically all times. Uh, to be honest, the best thing about ketamine for me is that it's been the one thing that has really helped with my crippling injury. Um, get to the point that I can move around better. Still on a cane day to day, but that is such an incredible leap from where I was, even a few years ago. The injury itself was 8.5 years back. I was on two crutches for a number of years. And I went back to college. I switched to one crutch, and then upon graduating college the following year, 2023 January, I decided at the new year I was like, I'm done with the crutch. I want to switch to the cane full time, which hurt a bit more, but um, has gotten to the point where it really doesn't. So overall, just the fact that I can exist with ketamine, yeah, it has been a game changer. I I look at, the various other things they tried doing, the injections in my back and the like lidocaine and all the other stuff. And of everything that they've tried, I very definitely have had more effect with ketamine than anything else. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what the difference is. That works more than any other treatment they've tried to give me, but ketamine is absolutely uh been phenomenal for me, even if I don't respond to it the way that quote unquote normal people do. I very much find that it's what's the worst thing about ketamine? The fucking hangover the following day, where I feel kind of, I don't know, blurry, a little like just a little off. The following day. Now, the way that my ketamine schedule is set up, I go generally 3 days in a row. So day by day by day, it's all fine. But then it's the day after that last one that I just have like a minor headache all day and I feel kind of dried out. And I try to, keep up with it. And water does help some, but it's definitely kind of an unpleasant after effect. And I suspect some degree of that is just the dosage I'm getting. Um, just because a lower dose doesn't work for me, the very high dose probably comes with slightly more intensive side effects. And I'm getting mine for pain, whereas a lot of ketamine is used for people who are receiving treatment for depression or PTSD, various other things of that nature, which are tend to be lower doses and an injection rather than an infusion, or a shorter infusion if it is an infusion. So definitely, it's the kind of thing that has a has knock-on effects, but honestly, wouldn't trade it for the world. It's fucking great. I can I can't walk again, but I can like walk with significantly less pain using a cane. Um, that said, my nurse very much enjoys making me hobble down the hallway beforehand so that I, am always improving, and it's the only place I can do it without the cane because I know that I'm about to be shot full of ketamine, but it really is unpleasant. But on like day two, it's better because I've had the ketamine within the past 24 hours. But yeah, day one is definitely never fun. That said, on day two, she usually makes me go twice. But I definitely do have. How long does it take for the pain to go away? Uh, for I mean, very early on in the injury, it was much more of a like potentially days if I spiked the pain. Um, at this point, I've gotten to where the pain is broadly, uh, like if I spike it up, it's going to go down to a much more manageable level by the time, within an hour or two. Um, when I'm actively getting the ketamine, it's actually usually closer to like 15 minutes. But with the ketamine every couple of months, I'm definitely much more able to uh, have the pain go down at a faster rate. I mean, 8.5 years ago when I got injured, the spike in the pain was very much uh, something that would last a while, but at this point, it's more an inconvenience than a horrible thing that I'm going to have to deal with for the next couple of days. Um, the pain spiking through the roof has fortunately subsided to the point that like I used to hit a 10 on the pain scale like not infrequently following the injury. Um, but I got to the point that was able I'm able now to like walk with a cane, and that takes me from like a 2 to a 3. Stairs, I'll go to like a 4. Um, Even like walking down the hallway used to be fucking torture, but at this point, it'll spike me up to like a 6. Um, which hurts. It sucks. I don't enjoy it, but it is an incredible improvement over what I was experiencing a number of years ago. And so, while 8.5 years is quite an extended period of time as far as healing goes, it does continue to improve, which is the thing that I focus on. Because I very definitely, early on in this, was not sure I could live like this for a very long time, and I realized after a year that I was getting better, and so I decided to kind of stick it out, and the ketamine getting introduced to the program at that point was the thing that kind of gave me an off ramp to know that it wasn't gonna be forever, at least, not as bad as it was at the time. So I definitely am grateful that that was there to reduce the amount of pain I had to deal with day to day. I I don't know. I am really glad that modern medicine exists. Well, actually, funny story. So modern medicine is both the answer to and source of my problems. Because see, I was born like basically not breathing. So if modern medicine hadn't saved me, I would not have had to deal with any of this bullshit. So really, it's kind of on them. Do I still feel like it's improving to where I may be able to walk without a cane? I really hope so. That would be nice. I, if nothing else, like the pain sucks. It does. But I'm a pretty function oriented person. So the thing that bothers me about the cane isn't even like the cane. It's just that I'm incapable of using both my arms and both my legs simultaneously. It just renders me like I'm allowed to use 3 limbs at a time. I can stand still and use my arms, or I can walk and use one arm. But I think given time, it is entirely possible that I will return to mostly functional. Um, I'd love to get, fully functional, but I don't know to what degree that's a possibility. But I think none of it would have been a possibility without ketamine. Um, I think that was kind of the turning point in the treatment for me. Um, yeah, the whole like walk without a cane idea, it sounds lovely, but currently it still spikes the pain so high to get to try walking without it. Um, Fortunately, I've like basically the entire time been able to shower with like the weight on my good leg, without worrying too much about it. Um, I will say going into this with a really good sense of balance has helped. And I've certainly honed my sense of balance over the ensuing years. But certainly having that to begin with was good. I'll be, I'm hopeful that I will at some point not need the cane, but I have a strong suspicion that that's going to be one of those things that even if I get to the point where I can walk some without it, it'll probably be in a bag near me at all times. Now, the convenient thing is, my mother found a cane that is foldable, so it folds down into 4 sections, so I can throw that in a bag and use it. That's been very useful at a job where I drive a tractor for a local farm. I'm able to just throw it in my backpack and drive around, and then at the end of the night, pull the cane back out and use it. But it's the idea of not having to deal with the cane is really nice, but I don't know that it's gonna be soon. I would love for it to be soon, but I don't think that I mean my brain's broke, I don't know. I am not currently. How would your life be different if I could suddenly walk other than not using the cane? Uh, Good question. If I could suddenly walk, um, I would probably actually, do it more. It's one of those things where, like, I definitely didn't value my mobility until I lost it. I was not a guy who went for walks or did anything of that nature, but, I would probably spend some time doing that if the pain just up and disappeared on me. Um, I definitely, I, I'm not sure. It would definitely be nice to go to interviews knowing that they're not gonna quietly disqualify me for not being able to, work like a quote unquote normal person. That definitely is, I mean, it's one of those things like it's not hideable, right? Like I can't go into the interview and have them not know that that's a thing about me. It's literally the first thing they know about me, once they see me. So the particularly with the current administration railing against DEIA, and they've thrown on an A there for accessibility. Um, because fuck anybody who's disabled. Appreciate that. Um, I it's definitely not an environment where being physically disabled is awesome. Not that there is an environment where being physically disabled is awesome, but like, you know, at least in the Nordic countries, it's like, okay, you're crippled, but you have free healthcare and shit. Could be worse for sure. Um, to what degree my life would change day to day? Um, I don't know. I might start doing some physical labor. I mean, it would open up a slate of jobs for me that I would be reasonably good at, given my background in technical theater and various other things, that I just physically can't do now. Um, So I would love to have the opportunity, honestly, to just even walk around the block kind of thing without a cane, but I have no idea to what degree that will be feasible in the near future. I'm definitely, despite being better than where I was, I'm better but not good. So, much as I like the idea of just suddenly being able to walk, it's, I mean, shit. Honestly, that was one of the times that I got so pissed at my own brain. Shortly after I got injured, not even that shortly, within a year, I'll say, of when I first received the injury. I genuinely remember waking up and being so pissed off at my own brain because I had a dream where I was walking, and that was it. It wasn't a dream about anything else, it was just that I could walk. And my brain playing that particular trick on me was what we'll call a dick move. Um, I definitely did not appreciate waking up to that shit. But, I definitely have kind of cut down on that in the time since. I had a couple of those dreams, and then I was just so angry at my fucking brain for daring to do that to me that I stopped. That I think that stopped being even a possibility. But I don't know. Other than that, I think my day-to-day life. I mean, I was a lot of my hobbies, and this was one of the few positive things getting injured. Was that a lot of my hobbies were relatively sedentary to begin with, in that like video games and uh, books and TV shows, etc. Uh, movies, whatever, are all pretty sedentary. The one that I have not been able to get back to is snowboarding, which I suspect I won't ever do again. I'd love to, but I don't know that that's feasible in the future. Like even if I get back to the point of walking, I think the potential for re-injury is probably too high. Much as I miss it, but that was the positive where like at the very least I had video games, books, whatever to kind of fall back on in that initial period. And also Critical Role. Shout out to Critical Role for being a whole lot of content to sink my teeth into when I was in so much pain I couldn't sleep. It very definitely helped in a way that I was not necessarily. I don't know that I could have done without access to, the internet or a whole lot of books at the time. That sort of escapism was extremely helpful, particularly prior to ketamine being a wonder drug. Other than that, I really don't know. It may be a shorter stream today. I may hop off around an hour in if more people haven't kind of come through. But for now, I mean, I'm happy to talk about pretty much whatever. Um, I don't know if anyone else in the chat had any interesting tidbits to drop, or if actually let me take a quick look at the chat. Oh no, cool. It's two people. It's mom and I. Cool. Okay, so I'm just talking to mom. Hey mom. Um, but yeah, as far as like what I would be capable of doing today if suddenly I didn't need the cane. A lot of the answer is just not having to slow down. Oh, favorite childhood memory, Jesus. You do recall that like ketamine affects my memory, right? Cool. Favorite childhood memory. Um, I gotta say, getting the GameCube when I was 9 was pretty sweet. Uh, a lot of things at the beach. Assateague year after year. Spending time there with, family, friends, etc. One of my least favorite memories at Aztec was that fucking seagull stealing my hot dog and eating it in front of me on a roof. That was not cool. Uh, let's see. Favorite childhood memory. Uh, I remember pre 9/11 being allowed into the cockpit of a plane and given a little, like, pin that they clearly kept a bunch of to, you know, entertain kids. But I remember being allowed to do that once in my life, pre 9/11, and that was something that, like, obviously at this point, cockpit doors are locked, so it's just not even a thing. That would have been, I think, 99. Um, let's see, anything else? Good childhood memories. Let's see. 4 on the way to Florida. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, I think that was a Disney trip, Disney World. Um, but I think back to that and just how much the world changed following those events. Uh, Only if it's playing audio. Uh, Other than that, I'm sure there's something I'm not thinking of. But, I definitely enjoyed those memories. Thank you. Should be fine. Um, that's fine. I'm probably gonna wrap up in like 17 minutes. Just go for an hour and see if anyone else comes in. That's fine. I'd appreciate it or a topic or whatever, but no, like I don't need to tie you up. Let's see, favorite childhood memories. When I was 11 years old, I had a buddy of mine, dream job. Honestly, if streaming worked out, it's pretty up there, particularly given my disability and the fact that it's work from home, and the fact that I can impose a schedule upon myself that sort of forces me to work at that time, fits my ADHD pretty well. Um, Other than that, I've always sort of harbored in the back of my head that I would kind of love to be an armorer out in Hollywood for various projects. I've got theatrical firearms training and relatively extensive experience doing that at a local level. Oh, sorry, back to my 11-year-old memory. Oh shit. Yeah. So my buddy's girlfriend, uh, he was 15 at the time. Uh, she was just the epitome of a dumb blonde. And we were out snowboarding. And my uncle had this old joke about the moguls being where they buried the skiers that died on the slopes who couldn't afford a funeral. Which was, I mean, it was a dumb joke, and I knew it was a joke, but she didn't. And so we, went by the moguls, and I made some mention of this, and I was like, oh yeah, it's where they, bury all the skiers that die out here that can't afford a funeral. And she completely bought it. Like, I think it helped that I was 11 and seemed relatively normal. But we had her going all day. It was fucking hilarious. To the point that we go and go and go, and my cousin at one point like had all like as soon as she asked the question, like hopped in and went along. And he went to double check with me because I was 11. He was like, this isn't true, right? And I was like, yeah, I started it. He's like, great, cool. Um, but we had her going all day about this, and like my cousin went by a mogul and went, oh no, cut off finger, and she was down below him, so she couldn't see it. And she was like, oh god, what? And we got to dinner that night, and we were all out at a restaurant. And she looks to my uncle and she goes, I don't want to seem like a dumb blonde, but are people really buried under the moguls? And we fucking lost it. It was hilarious. Particularly to me, at age like 11, having this 15-year-old girl going all day. Um, I was not one who tended to engage in pranks, but sometimes the target is just so present that you tell a joke and it's clear they don't get it. And you just gotta go from there. At that point, it's a scientific experiment. You gotta see how far it goes. Um, Fortunately, my buddy did break up with her and date smarter people after that, so that was good too. But yeah, Hannah was very funny. But yeah, honestly, that one's up there for favorite childhood memory, just because it was me being a dickhead in a way that she would not have predicted. She just didn't know I was that much of a smartass. I think we may have met that weekend. It was really funny. But I was definitely channeling a little Wednesday Adams on that one. Little morbid, little weird, and nobody expected it from me. I do have dinner here. I'm gonna start kind of digging into. Um, Also a little tired from the ketamine, so that's probably gonna push me off around the hour mark here today. I'm hoping on Friday I can stream a little more my normal time and see if anybody's interested in hopping in. But uh, let's see. Might be time to wrap up. Sure. Um, I was inclined to push it to the hour mark just to say I did, but
no real harm in wrapping up. I just double checked the view count, and it's just us still in here. We had a couple people drop by earlier, but they didn't comment or anything. So I will go ahead and end stream. Hey, Mom, thanks for being here.